LeBron James opened a brand new school a few years ago. It's called the I Promise School in Akron, Ohio. They set out to build something that was completely unique, completely innovative, that was a holistic approach to education. All kinds of media, major news networks, newspapers, documentaries have come in, blown this up, just like really shown how incredible this is. And then it comes out that they have serious academic troubles. Let's look at a news report on this very issue.
It's back to school today for students at Akron's I Promise School.
Yeah, but they're starting the school year off under scrutiny over student performance. Our Kiara Cotton is live at Akron with the story getting national headlines this morning. And Kiara, this was surprising.
Yeah, good morning, guys. The school gets national attention because it's supported by LeBron James. And to be transparent, WKYC Studios does have a partnership with his foundation that provides resources and opportunities to the students here at the I Promise School. Now, that criticism comes after state test scores showed that none of the now rising 8th graders scored proficient in math.
Looking at the current 7th graders, and so for 3 years, not one child passed the state test in math, not one for 3 years.
It is discouraging.
It is discouraging indeed. This is like devastating. The 8th graders, none of them have passed the state math exam since 3rd grade. In 5 years, they have not passed a state math exam. And the story was broken by the Akron Beacon, which is a local paper there. Here's a few quotes from that. It says, this fall's class of 8th graders at the I Promise School hasn't had a single student pass the state's math test since the group was in the 3rd grade. It goes on to say, when the school's first class of 8th graders graduated, just 11% of them tested proficient on the state English language arts test. That's 89% who are not proficient in language arts. Last year, 6th graders lost ground. When they were in 5th grade, 7% were proficient on the reading test. And in 6th grade, just 2% were. These are really discouraging numbers. You heard one of the school board members say that very thing. This is just so discouraging. And, I, basketball-wise, have not been the biggest LeBron James fan. He has certainly grown on me, especially his longevity on the court really is significant. But when he opened this school, man, I just internally to my friends, to my family, I gave him a lot of kudos. And this may not be the most popular opinion, but I still give him kudos because there are millionaires, multimillionaires. LeBron will be a billionaire someday if he isn't already. There are famous, rich athletes all of the time, and they aren't setting out to do anything like this. LeBron is from Akron. He grew up in a single mother home. He grew up impoverished for most of his life. And I believe he truly wants to make a difference here. I don't think this is some kind of scheme, a publicity stunt. He's put a ton of money into this. They had really cool programs, good ideas, like every kid got a bike and a helmet, because a lot of times impoverished communities, single mother homes, part of the problem is just attendance. And actually, one of the news reports goes on to say they have like an 89% attendance rate. So that's working. Kids at least have a bike. They can get themselves to school. There are things that are working. There are kids who are hitting their targets. However, you cannot minimize the significance of what is being reported here. I mean, these are really bad statistics. And these are real kids. They're real lives who are getting out of 8th grade and have never passed a math test or are at a reading level that is grades and grades below. And this is going to set these kids up to significantly struggle through high school and significantly struggle in the real world. So part of my issue is the way that this has been reported on throughout time. Here's one example of one of these just absolutely glowing media pieces about the I Promise School.
5 years ago, NBA superstar LeBron James opened the I Promise School in his hometown of Akron, Ohio. The goal, to give at-risk youth a place to learn and feel supported.
I understand the mental state that goes in with these kids and where they come from.
About 1,600 students have attended the school, which demands that its students promise to always do their best and make healthy choices.
It's up to us as the mentors and everybody in place to help them to get to that point. That's what kids want to know, that you care about me, and we do here.
Proof of that, every graduate receives a college scholarship.
I never thought that I could have a chance to go to college. It goes back to breaking those cycles, those generational curses. We're really doing something different here.
This year, LeBron's foundation opened a community center offering job training. The foundation also runs a food bank and provides medical services.
Man, LeBron James, he's a role model, and he empowers us, and he shows us every day that if you work hard, you can live out your dreams.
Okay, so, I mean, over the last 5 years, you could just throw a digital rock and hit some kind of really beautiful, inspiring piece about the I Promise School. And why not? We should be highlighting celebrities and athletes and wealthy people who are seeking to do positive things with their money and with their influence. At the same time, that video we just watched was put out a month ago, almost concurrently with the Akron Beacon article about how none of these kids are anywhere near standard. And so part of my question is, how did countless journalists have their eyes on this school and come away with their media pieces and none of them address the actual academic issues? I mean, the bottom line is it is the I Promise School. So yes, man, I love that they have a food bank. I love that they're doing job training. I love everything about it. But if you're a school, your number one job is to grow kids academically. Now, there are a lot of people who are reporting on this and saying, you know, whatever they want to say about it, that LeBron isn't addressing the correct issues. He's not talking holistically about families and the importance of two-family homes and giving marriage resources so families can stay together, which is directly correlated with academic success. They're focusing too much on equity. They're doing all of these different things. And it's LeBron, and what does he know about education? He's made himself the vice principal. How arrogant is that? And so I've heard a lot of takes like that. And, you know, there's probably some level of merit to some of those takes. But I have a little bit of a unique life experience that gives me a little bit of a different perspective. There is a statistic that the vast majority of the kids who go into the I Promise School are going in at least a grade level behind when they get there. It is very difficult to get kids caught up, especially depending on their circumstances and the other issues that they might be dealing with. When we adopted our daughter, she was 5, and intellectually, she was probably 1 year old. And I can't tell you the extents that we have gone to get her caught back up to grade level. She's now going into 5th grade, and she has made tremendous progress. She's an incredible kid, and she has grown. I mean, she's grown. It's like immeasurable how much she has grown. But she's not at grade level. And I mean, we have spent huge sums of money on cognitive brain training. I mean, we've done it all. We've had her in the best school we could get her in. She's had incredible teachers. She's had counseling. She's had all of these things. And it has been a slow grind to try to get her just back up to grade level. And for people who haven't experienced that, you know, you just think, well, they were a grade level behind, so just set some really hard standards and it is possible. It is actually possible to get these kids caught up. And here's my issue. You know, there's an ancient fable about the emperor's new clothes. And a lot of people misunderstand or misremember this, because the way I think a lot of people remember it is the emperor is walking around and he's butt naked and everyone's pretending like he's not. That's how we often remember this story. But that's not what happened. The emperor's new clothes, everyone is fawning over the naked emperor and telling him like, I love your new outfit. Dude, is that Armani? That is my favorite belt. You know, it's like, bro, that's not a belt. He's naked, right? It's not just that they're pretending what's happening isn't happening. It's that they're staring directly at the problem and pretending it's not there. That's my issue with the way the media has handled the I Promise School. I am fine with them glowing up everything he's doing holistically, the growth, the family development, the resourcing, everything like that. But The point of an outfit is to have clothes on. And to say I love your outfit when you're naked is nonsense. And the point of a school is education. And for all of the standards to be below, and one of the most concerning pieces of data is that compared to other schools in the area that also have kids who are below grade level, the I Promise school is faring considerably worse. And so there is something systemically in the education process at the I Promise school that is not working. And look, it's not from a lack of good intentions. I love LeBron's intentions here. It is from a lack of accountability. And, you know, LeBron's not an emperor, but he does call himself King James. And I think that his level of celebrity, and to put a positive spin on it, seeing a very wealthy celebrity do something this charitable and this honorable and with this much good intention, it has blinded people to even asking, is the school working? Are the kids learning? Are they going to be able to graduate? Will they be able to get through high school? Or will they have to drop out because they're so far behind? We're not asking the right questions. You cannot have true success without true accountability. Jesus tells a parable in Matthew chapter 25 about a king who goes on a journey, and before he leaves, he gives talents, which is a measure of money, a large sum of money, to his servants. And he expects them to invest it wisely. Now, if the king never returned, it wouldn't matter what they did with their talents, because the king's return is the accountability. And so one is given 1 talent, and 1 2, and 1 5. And the one who got 5 and the one who got 2, they went into the marketplace and they doubled their king's investment. And the one who only got 1 talent dug a hole and sat on it. He did nothing with it. And eventually the king returned and everyone had to give an account. They were held accountable. And the ones who did well were rewarded, and the one who did not was punished. And it's very instructive. You cannot have true success without true accountability. Accountability is the ability to give an account for what you have done. In the educational space, it is the ability to give an account for the growth and development of the young people that have been entrusted to your school. Without accountability, you will never know when you win. You can't know because there's no score on the board. The score on the board keeps you accountable to how you're doing in the game. And not only have we obfuscated and hidden the actual test scores of the kids in the I Promise school, we have papered over it with glowing media articles and documentaries, all about the positive things that are happening. And so, look, I do know uniquely how difficult it is when kids are behind grade level to get them caught up. I do also know that it's possible, but not without accountability. And here's my hope. Is the I Promise school a complete failure? I don't think it is. I think a lot of kids have had negative experiences there, and we need to hope and we need to pray for those kids, that they will have opportunities to get caught up, and people and mentors, people in their corner, and that the I Promise school will follow up with them and help them to get the resources that they need. I think that sunlight is the best disinfectant, and the best thing that could have ever possibly happened to the I Promise school is for people to begin to shine a light on it, because LeBron doesn't like to lose. He doesn't like to lose. And the score is up on the board now. And I think they now have the incentive. That's what accountability does in part, is it brings the incentive necessary to begin to see real, actual change. And I hope the change will happen. And I hope the I Promise school will be something that can be a model to be emulated. But if it's going to be a school, if it's going to be the I Promise Community Center, I think they've got an A+ right now. That's what it sounds like. But if it's going to be a school, the school has to educate the children. And so a light has been shown, the score is on the board. And I think that LeBron and his team at the I Promise school will respond appropriately.